Hola amigos, pregunta suscriptore respuesta, which is terrible Spanish for question and answer, which is questions from beyond the grave. No, it's not that at all. I hope none of my subscribers have gone beyond the grave to ask questions. That'd be quite bad actually. So yeah, it's just subscriber Q&A. So Zach Sheik says, are the directive guns in Planetside 2 worth it, i.e. the Shuriken SMG? So I've only really unlocked directive guns for the Vanu, and I've only got the LMG and the carbine. I think the carbine gives you a different style of play because you have unlimited ammunition, and that's quite an interesting mechanic. And similarly, the Beetlejuice has the unlimited ammo, but the Beetlejuice is much more potent in battle because it's basically a Orion with unlimited bullets, and the Beetlejuice is definitely worth it. I would say probably one of the best LMGs in the game. Anyway, I haven't played with enough directive weapons to really say whether they're worth it, to be honest. I've not had any of the SMGs. Nathan B says, a little late, but what are your thoughts on paid modding? So I don't know if you knew, but I'm a massive modder. I actually ran the game mods subreddit for a while, and I've been in loads of modding communities. I've modded my games since I was young. I was always a PC gamer. I used to, because I had dial-up internet and I couldn't really download any mods, I used to wait for the PC Gamer editions to come out, and they basically came with a disc with mods on them. So I've been a massive mod fan for a long time. So whilst I think that modders have a right to be paid as much as anyone else that does art or contributes to the creative industries, like a DeviantArt poster for example gets money for what they do, I think that the modding scene, because it's so interlinked and interwoven and all modders have little bits of other people's mods and their mods, it's very difficult to monetize any mods really without infringing on somebody else's creativity. And I think that part of the reason why the modding community was so strong and has so much creativity is that it's not held back by development cycles and needing to be monetized. I think a lot of the modders before were people that were either hobbyists making mods like Star Wars mods. There were Star Wars mods for Battlefield 2142 called First Strike, which was amazing, an amazing total conversion, but could never be monetized because it's a Star Wars franchise. And then we have other modders who do little bits and bobs, and they sort of create a portfolio for themselves if they want to be 3D artists or they want to be developers in the future. And I think that the Steam modding system was completely not ready for or fit for purpose, because what happened was people were stealing mods and putting them on and trying to monetize them, and other people were monetizing mods which had parts of other people's mods which they didn't want to be monetized. And it was a complete and utter mess. I would very much advocate a sort of donation style system so that you're never forcing anyone to pay, so you can't really say, oh no, you can't let people donate to any sort of mod as long as they're the content holder. But I think like a donate button where they took a certain percentage might be more realistic. But like any sort of creative process or setup, a new sort of source of income is Patreon or Kickstarter, where you sort of crowdfund your projects. So something like that, like a crowdfunding for mod projects or game mods, might be very interesting to pursue. But the monetization on Steam, where you have each mod as like a little paid asset, was a bit ridiculous, and the items really weren't worth what they're being sold for as well. But as I said, the creative people should get paid as much as anyone else should. They're putting hours into it, they're doing a job. But how that works out in such an interesting and interwoven community needs to be really thought about and not just jumped straight into. Like the announcement was out of the blue, and it was just such a shock to all the gaming community. Anyway, moving on. jjhedge says, could you clarify what the Green Party is? Because I'm from America and I'm fairly sure it is different to the UK's Green Party. So the Green Party in the UK is, it used to be very pro-environment, and that was the only issue it sort of stood upon. But now it's still strongly in sort of renewable energies and animal rights and things like that. But a larger part of the party now is all about sort of social welfare, and it's a fairly left-leaning party. It's almost like the pirate parties of the German democratic system has quite a prominent party, which are similar. They're like the fringe left-wing party that's got social welfare and social rights at its core, and human rights as well. So that's basically what the Green Party is. It's still very much in its early stages, and there are some problems because the Green Party wants to set itself apart from normal politics, and they're very apprehensive about having a leader. And Natalie Bennett isn't perhaps the most forefront leader. She's not like other leaders, where they're well spoken and they're trained to be leaders, and she only gets £20,000 or so a year. So, and they were very reluctant to have a leader in the first place because they wanted to be decentralised and to be sort of almost like a communal, I don't know how to, like a nodal sort of political party. So it's a very odd party. So yeah, it's interesting. Sneaky Pupe says, "Hey Josh, you said you've been to America. Did you visit Canada? We seem to have lots of Brit expatriates here, and we have a similar sense to Berlin with the community, but have Commonwealth ties. And no, I haven't been to Canada, unfortunately. Although, to be honest, Canada's one of the places that I think I'd be very compatible living in. Yeah, I think that Canada's always been seen as Brit, like the more Brit-friendly version of America, in some ways." And Elsdon Jong asks another national question. He says, "Have you ever visited New Zealand yet?" And no, I haven't. I mean, I haven't had a chance to hop down there yet. DeadWarrioR says, "I haven't played Planetside 2 for a long time, and I cannot play due to low FPS. I'm currently playing on a laptop, and I'm getting below 20 FPS all the time, and I've set everything to lowest it possibly can be, and I need some help." So, DeadWarrioR, I really don't know without you telling me what the hardware is in your laptop. What does it have? A graphics card? Is it an onboard graphics card? What RAM does it have? What CPU does it have? What are the speeds? I don't really know if it's just a problem with your laptop. Is your laptop dying, or is it because your laptop's not powerful enough to run it? And I assume it's probably because your laptop isn't powerful enough to run it, because a lot of laptops aren't really powerful enough to run Planetside 2. It's very CPU intensive and does need a decent graphics card. I know some people do play off laptops, but on quite low settings, but you still need the CPU power. So James Dave says, "Joshino, do you do streamings?" I did a few streams, but at the moment I was meant to move house to somewhere with better internet, but that hasn't happened, as most movings sort of have their own complications. So I physically can't stream in this household because the internet's so slow. I downloaded about 150 to 250 kilobytes per second and upload at, well, it's not even worth mentioning, probably like 90 kilobytes per second, so it's not enough to hold a stream. Hey ho. X-Flamer says, "How MLG are you? I'm 420 Blaze It MLG 360 no scope XXX phase MLG." Adams Wes says, "How do you get the voiceover with headshot and everything? Like headshot." That's the recursion stat tracker. If you basically Google recursion stat tracker, I might even put it in the description, download the software. You have to boot it up before you load in Planetside, and then you type in your character's name, and then you start stream, and it basically does like it takes all your stats. They take the stats without resing and things like medic reses, and it also has loads of overlays saying how long your kill streak is, and has loads of different voice packs that you can use. Even other YouTubers like Zara and the Bear made their own voice packs, which are quite interesting. But the original guy that did it, it's Redolent Bastard, who has quite a deep voice, but I think it's edited. I think his voice is edited through some editing software to have a higher bass. But don't quote me on that. Rajanic70 says, "What's the best way to lose weight?" Well, I'm not the thinnest person. I probably put on weight, probably about 2 stone over the past, I don't know, 6 months. So I'm not the best person to ask how's best to lose weight. But I think cutting down on carbohydrates and sugar is a way to go, to be honest. And having a lot of vegetables and meat or meat substitutes, if you're vegetarian, is the way to go, really. thing is, a lot of things that you think are healthy, like fruits and fruit juices and things like that, have a lot of fructose in them, so they have a lot of sugar in them, which turns into energy, which you need to burn off, so they're not actually that healthy for you. Alan Nikscha says, try this German tongue twister. Der Whisky oh god. Der Whisky Mixer mixed whiskey on der Whisky Bar. Which actually isn't German, I don't think. I don't think that is German. Whiskey bar that's not German, surely. Anyway, I got that one. Yes. Yeah. AC Ghost 81 says, do you ever start shooting your allies when you switch factions? And no, actually, this never happens to me. The only time I shoot my friendlies is when sometimes when you turn around and you're trying to quickly turn around and try and shoot at somebody because you hear somebody behind you or you hear some fire, and you turn around and you get your target in sight and you have a few shots, and then usually if I hear the ally thing go doo doo, no please no, like the red circle comes up, I stop firing, and sometimes I get the kill on the allies, but I think it's less about getting confused about the factions because I just switch all the time, so it doesn't really faze me. But sometimes being a bit too jumpy I can kill an ally. And then Michael Lean, I think it's Leon, Michael Leon. How many directive pets? How many directive points do you have, and what have you completed? So I don't know how many directive points I have. My computer's off actually, so I can't go over there. And how many directives have I completed? I've completed the LMGs and the carbines for Vanu, and that's it, I think. So yeah, that's all the questions, everybody. Thank you all very much for the questions this week, and be sure to ask questions next week if you have any, because they're very much appreciated. And thank you all very much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe to this video on the channel, and I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.